Okay, great. Happy morning, everyone. Now we are in our YouTube live. Welcome to our book day with you session. Today is the last episode in the 2021 for the year. So we're going to have the books of the year that we're going to tell you so many bunch of books that we really inspire us, that makes us cry most, as well as what is the most practical book. But before that, let us share with you that the video that we made for you for this year. So let's go for this show. Eden, can you see already, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I will play this video for you all. Let's go. Wow, it's like I'll just stop the share. For those that haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go to this Book It With You channel there to subscribe our channel. And Gideon, we have how many books in this year?
24, 25 books?
34.
24, yeah, 24.
24 books altogether in 12 months. That's really, really an awesome time that having this session together with you. And, after watching this video, how do you feel about it?
I think it's a journey, and we are in the middle of it, and very glad that we share all these good books, and we hope that some of you pick up the book.
Me too. First I did this video and after watching that I said, whoa, it's a lot of great content inside, and let's go for this one. Gideon, can you share with us that what is your most practical book in 2021?
Yes, we are going to share some of the books that we are really impressed with this year. Some of the books we already shared in the session, but some of them we didn't share it. So I'm going to start with the most practical or useful book that I read in this year, 2021. And the book is this 5 a.m. Club by Sharma. And this book really, I say it's very practical because it really changed my morning. I'll say morning because now I can wake up at 6 a.m. I didn't follow strictly, so I wake up at 6 a.m. club, and I follow what the book teach, which is 20 minutes. You do 20 minutes move with exercise, 20 minutes reflections or gratitude exercise, and 20 minutes grow. Grow means learning. So you follow the 20-20-20 rules every morning. And also the book talk about it takes 66 days to build a habit. So like the 22 days is for installation, the next 22 days for integration, and the last 22 days is for you the first 22 days for destructions. You have to destruct your old habit. The next 22 days install your new habit, and the last 22 days to integrate the new habit to your life. So you really have to practice something 66 days before you say you want to give up. Okay, so you do it 66 days first. Okay, and I like the book so much is about talking about that every change is very hard at first, messy in the middle, you're confused, but you'll be gorgeous at the end. Okay, and the other thing that I find myself from the book, my learning from this book is you can be flexible with this. You don't like myself, don't really have to follow strictly 5 a.m. As long as you can have some change, I think it's okay. But you must do it consistently. Okay. So for me, it's like 6 a.m. Sometimes if I'm really busy, then I do 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay.
That's why it's so practical, right?
Yeah. How about you?
Yay! This is the book. It's called Pagan Diet. This book is published by Dr. Mark Hyman that I'm going to share with you all next year. The first book that I share in 2022 with you, because even you see the title right here, 21 practical principles for reclaiming your health in nutritionally confusing world. That so many advice is outside, like you should follow the keto diet, you should follow the paleo diet, you should follow what kind of diet is it. So it's kind of confusion, even though I'm from a nutritional background. And this will really, really give us so practical guidance. And after I read this book, I just found that I actually practicing all this pagan diet since 6 years ago. I'm like, whoa, it can resonate with me so well. And definitely very, very practical. Let me share with you more next year from this one.
Looking forward. The next book we're going to share is about the most meaningful book, right? So I start first. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can go.
So the most meaningful for me, the book that I read, I haven't shared before, is this book. It's called A Force for Good by Dalai Lama, of course written by Daniel Goleman, but with Dalai Lama together. This book is actually a universal call to our compassion, upward, and use it to improve ourselves and the world around us. So one of the things that impressed me a lot is Dalai Lama talking about one of the most important things we have to realize is that human happiness is interdependent. Okay, our own successful or happy future is very much related to the other person or the society. So helping others or having consideration for others' right and need is actually not just a matter of responsibility, but it involves our own happiness. So why I can relate this very much is actually if you think about it, this helping people or giving to others people are not helping just other people, but it's actually helping yourself. Think about it. Our country recently some of the state has been affected by heavy flood, and a lot of people lost their lives. Some people lost their house. So not sometimes, when I see this news, I feel very bad. I feel very, very sad on that day. So you can see that our happiness is actually interdependent. The society, when there's something happen, suffering to our society or some other people, it will infect us. So we need to do something, to help the society. I always believe that this world is not really that we have too many evil people or bad people, but it's just that we have less people who is doing good, who is standing up and do something for the society or for the community. So I think this world really is meaningful to me in a way.
Looking forward that you're going to share next year together with us. I haven't read this book yet. I think this is such a great book, such a meaningful book to read through that. And my meaningful book is this book. I think have I shared this book with you before? It's called The Voices of Revolution, by the interview session between John Robbins and Ocean Robbins, with a bunch of very, very game-changing conversation with all the experts. And why I say this book is so meaningful is because it is really awakening session for me to know how the food, before the food actually come to us, whether it's a plant food or it's an animal food, before they come to us, what exactly happened to the food? It's from animal, it's from plant, how they actually reach to our plate. So that this is a book that creates so much of awareness to me that we need to think through about it, about our relationship of ourselves with the food, so that we see things, whether it's a processed food or not processed food, how this thing can be really practically come to us. So it comes to me is like creating the awareness, then have to make our choice, very conscious choice on what we actually put into our body does make a lot of things to makes it so meaningful. I just finished this book only. I haven't, yeah, just finished yesterday. And that's why I plan to say this is a very game changing conversation between all the conversation. Okay, that's why I want to ask Gideon, what books makes you cry most?
We like to have this title because I cry a lot when reading books. So this book, I think we shared before, The Choice by Edith Eger. Really, this book is about death camp again in Auschwitz and how Edith survived. She's a survivor, one of the survivor, many few survivor, which is still alive now, living now. And I quote the book is about the quote the book that leave me a very good impression is everything can be taken from a man or a human, but one thing, the last of the human freedom is to choose one attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Each moment is a choice. No matter how frustrating, how boring, how painful our experience, we can always choose how we respond. And I finally begin to understand that I have a choice. This realization will change my life. So I think after reading the book, I begin to fully understand now, like a lot of things is, I think this society is, what happened to you is just 10%. Okay. 90% is how you make a choice and respond to it. So pick up this book. This really, I think, a book that every human needs to read.
Yes, definitely. And I found that through my experience, especially these few months, to make a conscious choice how I respond to the situations that happen to me every single day, that make a very big impact. So the choice, this book is definitely a great book to really know how we can make a more conscious choice that how you want to experience your life. So really, really can make us cry a lot. So, but I'm not going to share the book that I cry, made me cry most. I'll leave it to next year. So, I will share about this book is on the most earth-shattering book. So should I the earth-shattering book, that really, really was a whoa, that kind of book. This book I talked before. You Can Fix Your Brain by Dr. Tom O'Brien. He is my mentor. This book is kind of thick, but when I read through it, I take a very short time to read it because it's really, really, I cannot put down the book because it's so earth-shattering for me. Whenever I read that, I say, whoa, 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 I want to know more. I want to know more. It's like one and one after one chapter and after one chapter. It is so important for us to know that sometimes we have our brain that will be very, very, how would I say, when you touch the age like maybe 50s, 60s, 70s, you start to feel like your brain is like deteriorate and you can't have a good sleep, you can't have a memory, good memory or high productivity, or even at the age of very young age. So it's what we do to our brain constantly that really, really, really destroy our brain cells. And like every day you destroy like only 0.01% of your brain cells over the course of 10 years, 20 years, down to the earth of 70 years, people have dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson, all these things. And I'm dealing with a lot of Alzheimer's, Parkinson, and patient as well. And I know how exactly terrible the life can be. So when I read through this, I'm saying, wow, I did some of that. I said, no, I'm going to change my life. I want to do something for my life. So this one is definitely a very earth-shattering book for me this year. How about you, Kiran?
Um, I have the book, but it's a Chinese translation version. It's a book by George Orwell. I think I shared his other book before, 1984, George Orwell. I think every book of his book is very controversial, but it's very true. So this 1984, the English name is called Animal Farm. So why I say earth-shattering, the book is is talking about the story. It's very thin actually. It's telling about a story of a farm animal who rebel against the farmer, who bully the animals, hoping to create a society where the animals can be equal, free, and happy. So the animal can talk in the book. So ultimately, the rebellion is did they win? And the farm ends up taken control by a group of pig. Okay, the book is pig. But in the end, the farm end up as bad as it was before, because now they are under the dictatorship of a pig, another pig. So why I say this is very earth-shattering for me is the main theme for the book is actually about the desire for power. I think it happened to a lot of countries, but I don't want to mention the country's name. You can see sometimes we have a revolution, someone stood up and they overturn the government. But in the end, the rebellion who take over the country also become corrupted in the end. Okay. So we must be very careful because it's a lesson to us. You know, this book was written very early, but he already can perceive that this will happen, you know. And there was one quote very famous: all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. You always see that some leaders tell us, oh, I'm very fair to everyone. But sometimes you can see that, no, sometimes it's not so true, because someone is more equal than you know. So I think it's a lesson for a lot of leaders to take care of this. When you are taking over the power or the leadership, you don't be the person that you take over, the same dictatorship that you take over. You become corrupted. So you must be very cautious about this. So yeah, this is a book that a lot of leadership like to read because it's a lesson. Although it's talking in a more story-wise, like a group of animals overtake the farmers. But in the end, you know, the pig also become corrupted and they become the dictator.
The book is in what kind of language they have?
There's an English version called Animal Farm. Yeah, I think originally it was written in English called Animal Farm. Yeah, I didn't have the English version.
All right, no problem on that. Great. I haven't read the book yet. I definitely want to jump into this book because I love to read all this leadership book as well. Okay, now let's go to this one. What are the books that you'll be read again and again?
So this book again. I know Joyce is not pick up the book. Yeah, we have different book version cover. Joyce liked the cover very much. I have a different cover. She liked the birds flying.
I can tell you, it's like only seeing the bird by itself, it's so free.
Yes.
Let's continue.
Yes, so we shared this book before. Another very good book by Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, but this is Yes to Life, in spite of everything. So I quote the book. The question now no longer can be what you can expect from life, but it's actually what life expects from you. Okay, what is the task that the life gives to you in this life? So, I mean, a lot of people are asking what is the meaning of life, but actually, it's what life asks from you. You just see a lot of life will give you a lot of challenges and keep asking you, keeping you the task, the challenges. So I think for me is. What lesson I get is what is the calling for me in this world. You may be a lot of people may be born in a broken family, poor family, corrupted countries, or one with sickness, deformity, perfectionist. A lot of people have all these things and they complaining. But you see, this is what life have tested us. They want to see how you respond to it. And I think related to the earlier book, you have a choice. You can make it right again, or you can change it. So you must still keep that faith, yes, to life with whatever that you are having.
Yeah.
So
Great. Great book. Okay. Ta-da! My book.
ooh, big magic, the most.
Yeah, so happy. This is a book that Gideon give to me. I would say it's last year Christmas, right? But I read this year, and I love so much of the way Elizabeth Gilbert talked about the big magic, how to create a creative living life. Especially this book, I read it again and again and again until I almost know how to let it out from my house, from my mouth is about the road trip together with the fear. Whenever I have a fear in my life, I will definitely we have some fear in our life when we want to do something. So whenever I have a fear, I will go to this chapter about the road trip together with the fear to read, and it's so good the way that Elizabeth Gilbert put into the words about fear, and really remind me again and again if I want to create a big magic in my life, I need to go beyond the fear. Yeah. So definitely that's something I want. I want to just, share the art, the creative things that I create to the world. So this is a book that I actually put on my shelf. It's without putting it into the cupboard. Every time easily for me to pick up from the shelf so that I can directly read that.
I'm glad you like the book so much. I also read the book every year when I have fear and have creative problem.
Yeah, and there's some things that I know Gideon don't like to highlight, but I love to highlight books. The highlight thing is like something the sentence I will go again and again, again and again. As I said, we read again and again to really, it's too good. Okay, thank you so much, Gideon, for sharing with me this very um, great book. Now, I know I don't have this book, so I want to ask you instead of you ask me first. What is the most spiritual book that you want to share with us this year?
We seldom share spiritual book, but I this year I already introduced to Gary Zukav book by Oprah Winfrey books. So Oprah, I really like him a lot, Gary a lot. He's talking a lot about spirituals. So this is his first book, The Seat of the Soul. It's talking about how humans are evolving to be more soulful. So this will help us move away from violence and towards more love and light. So most people think evolution in terms of physical and biological survival, but I think according to the book, it's not just limited to our five senses. We are evolving to be more spiritual capacity, and we can perceive things beyond what we physically can see. So life is not only learning about five senses, but about soul also. So the book also talking about before a soul is taking on a form, physical form, it need to agree to fulfill some kind of purpose before it enter to our body, before we are born. So it's talking about this, and it's talking about that everyone have different path to follow. So everyone can take different path in their life, and there's no any better than the others. Okay, the universe provide for people who trust it. True, they don't understand, or sometimes we don't understand how it works. But sometimes if bad thing happens, they are ultimately part of our soul evolution. It's soul evolutions toward our wholeness. So it's more talking about the soul is telling you what to do in this earth. Okay, so you must try to understand your soul also, beside your five senses. Try to, I mean, but, a lot of the book talking about how you do the meditations and you can get this calling. But sometimes it just hit you. It just tell you that, oh, this is why you are in this earth.
I remember I watched Gary Zukav interview before,
Yeah.
and it has been a very enlightening moment for me to know more about his work. Previously, I don't know about his work until I listened the interview session, which is a very, very great guru to learn about spiritual as well, right? So I know I also don't have this book surprisingly good that he didn't want to share more.
You want to share more your surprising book first?
You didn't have.
Sorry. 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 Surprising book for me is this book called The Subtle Art for Not Giving a Fuck. And when I see the book, the title just make me piece away, running away. But I'm just thinking why not? Because a lot of people like this book. I don't know why this book is so popular by Mark Nixon. So I pick up the book, and actually, contrary to not giving a fuck, is talking about giving fuck to things that are aligned with your personal value.
Mm.
So I quote the book, you are going to die someday. Everyone of you is going to die soon. So in your short life, you can only have a certain amount of fucks to give. You can only focus on something very important. And then another revelation to me is talking about the desire to get more positive is actually a negative experience. I was like, wow, okay, if you're trying to be more positive, this is a negative thing. Because in our life, if we try to avoid all the negative things, you tend not to grow, You have a lot of negative things hitting you. So don't try to, avoid it, but, try to just see that this is part of the journey. So, and talking about the book, talking about don't hope for a life without problems. Hope for a life with good problems. Because our problem keep upgrading. Okay. Whether you agree or not, everyone have problem. Poor people have problem. When you rich also you have problem. You just have different problem. Okay. Maybe the rich people have more problem than you. Okay. But they have to see how to. A lot of people want their inheritance, want their money. Then no one really care about them. So they have their problem also. Don't think about rich people don't have problem. Rich people also have problem. It's just that our problem keep upgrading. So we have different problem now. As long as our problem is upgrading, it's okay. Okay. And our happiness is actually in solving problem, not avoiding problem. So after I read it, it's like, oh, okay. So actually, we can't run away from problem. It will keep coming to you. You just keep solving it. But your problem become better and better. I think Joyce can agree. Now your problem become more high grade, upgrade. It's not like last time, easy problem. Now you become upgrade because you are getting better and better problem now.
More challenging, I would say. More challenging.
Yeah, more challenging.
Challenge the skill, the knowledge, the patience, I would say, and also the conscious choice that you make every single day. That's really a challenging time for me, especially these few months. Like, whoa, okay.
I should ask you now before you keep talking so many you have funny books to talk about.
The most childlike book and the most funniest book that I read this year is
Oh, what is this in Chinese?
This is another Christmas present from Gideon. He gave me this book. It's actually a bad story. It's a children book, but it can be for adult as well. I translated for you. This is in Mandarin title. If I translate to you, it's like the perfect moment of nothing to do, right? The nothing to do perfect moment, right? I don't care. But one thing is like this book has been really, really childlike. You can literally get the parrot and the small little sentence, just like a bedtime story. You tell your
Everyone know Joyce will like the bear.
I perfectly love this part, that the bear is looking at the sky, with the clouds, literally nothing to do. So it really gave me the idea is like sometimes when you have time, like nothing to do and enjoy the perfect moment can be like 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day. That makes a lot of sense. Like if you want to make the time for yourself, connect back to yourself. Even though this book is a children book, but it's actually teaching us about there's some message behind. It's like to be patient and to be more creative and be more observant. Like the bear is trying to observe a lot of environment things while during this photo.
Doing
So
nothing.
that's the bear. So that's the most childlike funny book that I read this year. Thank you again for the book. Okay, so now, you have to Totoro.
Yeah, me is Totoro. It's more like another bear, but it's not really bear. It's a spiritual. And I really like this book by this illustration book by Miyazaki. Really good illustration. And also the lesson behind is if you have a pure heart, if you appreciate the nature, you keep a childlike heart inside, not childish, a childlike heart inside, and open to anything, you can see the world better. You can see a different world. You can see the miracle. The miracle is Totoro, of course, in this book. Not everyone can see Totoro. I mean, the book, everyone cannot see a Totoro, but if you have a childlike heart inside, you can see the miracle.
It's fun to really start to have the childlike experience. Like everything starts with a curiosity.
Curiosity, yes.
Yes. I don't know. Sometimes we have been grown up and now we shut off our curiosity to a lot of things. But I remember when I was young, I keep asking why and why and why, until teacher cannot hold me anymore. It's somehow with the cane telling me stop asking why. I'm like, I'm so curious about everything, but I want just to ask why. And I think the curiosity mind has been really close shut down by the so-called the teacher that do not allow me to further ask until a point I feel like no more curiosity in my life anymore. Until I reopen it when I know it how. So it's a very fun one. Okay, now we go to the last book.
Last one.
Most inspiring book of the year goes to. Okay, Gideon, you share first.
I'm going to cheat. I'm going to take the same book again.
Okay. This is the book that.
I didn't tell you I want to take the same book. So it's Yes to Life again. Why you're picking the same? Oh, no. Okay, you're not this book. Okay, me is Yes to Life, Inspire Everything. But I want to tell a different thing about the book. I quote the last sentence of the book, the sentence that impressed me so much is life is not something, it is opportunity for something. So if someone have done wrong to you, it's the opportunity for you to forgive them, okay, or do something to right it. If something bad has happened to you, I mean, like illness, accident, trauma, it's the opportunity for you to salvage the situations or make the incident meaningful in a way. Yeah, you really can do that meaningful in a way. If you do not live a life that you want right now, it's an opportunity for you to try to change it. I mean, we cannot guarantee you will succeed, but it's opportunity for you to do something. So sentence from me, okay? Just last sentence. No problem.
Last sentence.
No, just now the sentence from me.
I mean the last one there from you.
I mean the whole sentence just now.
Yeah. You repeat that? I
mean the whole thing that is something done wrong to you or this. Yeah. So
okay.
So I think that at least don't be so feel hopeless in life. If you still have the moment, I mean you are still alive, you have opportunity to do something, to change it.
Okay.
How about you? Most inspiring book?
I should let you share this with the last one. Never mind.
Don't take the same book.
I didn't pick up the same book. I picked up this book, Feel Better in Five by Dr. Reagan. So this is the book that really inspired me thinking, seeing that sometimes we want to live the life that we feel great about ourselves does not require you like long hours per day. You just need like 5 minutes, 3 times a day. That is the simple 5 minutes. Every one of us has it. So it's like a very inspiring book for me because it's full of very like case study from our heart, mind, and also our heart, mind, body. This is a three different part. I remember I shared earlier of this year, yeah, January, about this book. So this is a book that if you want to feel great about your life, please go ahead with this book. And thank you so much for listening for us. We have been over our time more than 30 minutes. And I realized something, Gideon. I forgot to ask everyone to vote the book. Remember the video that we shared
Yeah.
all just now? We have 24 books in these 12 months, 2021, that we shared. Please vote for the book that inspired you the most and leave a comment below in our channel right here. Thank you
Yeah.
so much once again and see you next week.
See you next year. See to
Bye.
have a more good book coming. Bye.
Definitely Happy New Year to every one of you.